Season 3, Episode 6 of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, titled Punishment and Games, had a few jaw-dropping moments. Lynn delivered a stellar performance. The highest cut off Brian's finger, and Ruth is subject to taking a pregnancy test, and she ain't even pregnant. Aside from the fact that the FBI members that we've been introduced to are now all on the compound, somebody needs to do a wellness check on Andrew. In this video, I'll be recapping the highlights and try to figure out what it all means. With that being said, let's get into this review. The scene opened with the highest instructing Andrew to go in and kill Brian. He went on to compliment Andrew, telling him how he loves an obedient soldier. And when all of that was over, Andrew was anxious to get the job done and proceeded to go into the punishment trailer. The highest stopped him and told him that he wants to torture Brian first. And lucky for him, this will actually buy him some more time. The highest told him that he'll be waiting in the torture trailer. How many trailers are on the compound? We've got about 2 or 3 punishment trailers, the torture trailer, the trailer with the electric chair in it, and are there any more? This is insane. And in the meantime, Andrew and Daikon went into the punishment trailer, and Andrew realized that Brian's handcuffs were loose. And not only that, he also saw that Brian had a knife, and then he snitched on him. So he threw Daikon up against the wall of the punishment trailer to protect him. Andrew, what's going on right now? Was he trying to buy time or really snitching on Brian? I say he was snitching because this landed Brian in more hot water because Daikon now knows that he has a weapon. Another thing that I noticed is Andrew pulled a gun from his pocket and he gave it to Daikon. Andrew has gone completely left. He's delusional. He done lost his mind. And I'm about 1 episode away from counting him out of the FBI altogether. In the next scene, River saw Zane coming out of the trailer after movie night, and he immediately knew that something was wrong with her and tried to convince her to tell him what was wrong. Zane doesn't think that he can do anything about it, so she's going to keep the secret to herself. River then told her that Lacey and Oliver were on the compound, and he thought that this would encourage her to open up about what was going on with her, but it didn't work. Now, back to the torture trailer. After the highest made his creepy introduction, he told Brian that he was going to cut each of his fingers off one at a time until he told him who he was working with inside the camp. And look at Andrew standing in the back behind Daikon, saying absolutely nothing. So he told Daikon and Andrew to take Brian's clothes off so that he could get started, and I don't know what cutting off his fingers and toes got to do with his clothes being off, but he did tell him that he was going to cut off his maker stick if he didn't tell him what he wanted to know after he got to that last pinky toe. So they took all of Brian's clothes off, and they had to just have the maker stick, at half attention going across the screen. I just don't see the point. Brian told him that there was no one from the FBI on his camp because they did try to get someone in, but they weren't able to do it. And right before they started to torture him, he wanted to know if Brian was married. Brian told him that he was married to someone named Karen. Then Daikon twisted his wedding ring and asked him, why was Lynn tattooed on his finger? Then Daikon wanted to know if it was the same Lynn that came to the compound. So after they figured all of that out, now Andrew wants to chime in. He said that had to be the other agent that tried to get in. So that sounded reasonable, and the highest believed him and wanted her to come back to the compound. He told Daikon to call her and to let him know what was going on. Then we see the 2 Elder Mothers sitting by the fireside having a heart-to-heart about how jealous Elder Mother Supreme is that Ruth is marrying the highest. You're not jealous, are you? I love the way she said that. Elder Mother Supreme told her that she just loves taking care of the highest, and she's just not ready to let that responsibility go yet. And we can understand that. So she's been taking care of him for like so long. She just don't know what to do with herself with all this extra time that she's going to have on her hands. Then the Elder Mother said something that struck a chord with Elder Mother Supreme. She said that Ruth was glowing while carrying that baby, and that got Elder Mother's tin hat tingling. She called Ruth over and told her that she wasn't quite sure what their roles were going to be now that she's Elder Mother Supreme and that Ruth is going to be the wife of the highest. And Elder Mother Supreme wanted to make sure that Ruth wasn't going to snitch on her and tell the highest that she brought the boy to his trailer. She also wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to tell him that she's turning up that moonshine jar every chance she gets. And Ruth reassured her that she wasn't going to say anything. And she knows that she hasn't been very nice to Ruth, so she had to get that extra bit of insurance to make sure that she kept her mouth shut. Then when Elder Mother walked off to go to bed, Ruth said, F you, you crazy witch. Oh my gosh, her one-liners are all winners this season. I love it. And of course, the night couldn't end without River popping up on the scene. He told Ruth that some of the money will start to move into their accounts on Monday. And Ruth is keeping a cool head about things, so she wasn't that excited. He told her that she needed to talk to Zane because she's a part of their plan and he needs her to make sure that she's operating with a clear head. Ruth told him that, yeah, okay, I'll talk to her. Then we move on to Elder Mother Supreme sitting on the porch talking to the highest, and I thought she was supposed to be in the bed. She told the highest that she took it upon herself to order pregnancy tests for the women on the camp. She said that they should know who's coming and who's going. The highest said that women should already know when their delivery dates are. She told him that Sister Bill was 8 months pregnant and they knew nothing about it. She said that Sister Bill is a little on the chubby side and it was hard to tell, so the test will give them plenty of advance notice, and the highest has her back. So Daikon called Lynn, and Lynn is a little preoccupied. When the cameras cut to Lynn, we could see that Lynn wasn't by herself, and I'm thinking Brian is on the compound getting his fingers chopped off and you getting feasted on. Daikon wanted to know what happened, why she hadn't made her way to the compound, and Lynn managed to tell him that she's going to come out tomorrow. Lynn was very, very busy, and if you haven't checked out my video that I posted yesterday on this scene right here, I'll leave it posted above, so make sure you check it out. I had no idea that he was doing cocaine. I had no idea that Lynn was actually smashing him for real. I only thought that she told Brian this just to piss him off, right? But oh no, she's doing it. She's doing it well. Daikon told Andrew that the highest wanted them to leave Brian in the torture trailer until Lynn came in the morning. So we find Andrew and Daikon in this trailer again, Andrew on the couch and Daikon sitting sideways at the table next to him, telling him how much he wanted to get Andrew in his bedroom. Then Andrew went on to tell him that being with him is not his thing, and that the highest is the only one who has those privileges. And now Daikon feeling kind of way. He's all insecure, and then Andrew started making references to his arm, and now that he needed painkillers, telling him that he was upset about what happened, today, yada, yada, yada. And this scene was just as confusing as Andrew flip-flopping back and forth in and out of the FBI. I really don't know what they were talking about at the end. Daikon feels that he's just not good enough for anybody there on the compound. He told Andrew to get out of his trailer, so he left. Then we cut back to these two, and they're having a party. They're having a good old time. They got the Coke, the Brown, and they up there in that hotel room like there's nobody else in the world. And Malcolm is mad because Lynn told Brian that they were sleeping together. Then she didn't want Malcolm talking about Cynthia while she was there. These two right here are dangerous together, and it looks like they're into asphyxiation mixed with the liquor, the drugs. It's just crazy. Somebody's gonna get hurt. So Malcolm wanted to know who Lynn was talking to on the phone. She told him that she found a cult and that they've got the good drugs there. And of course, Malcolm knows all about the Rakadushis, and he wants Lynn to say that she recruited him and take him with her to the compound. They are so green and confused. It's just not even funny. Malcolm definitely wants to get his hands on some of those drugs, and he wants to go and F with Andrew. Ruth ran into Zane as she was trying to sneak food to the punishment trailer for Oliver and Lacey. Ruth told her that she can't sneak food in, but to let her handle it. She told Zane that she was about to become the highest wife and she could get food to them, and she could also get Zane off the compound, but she had to be patient. So on her way back to her trailer, she ran into the highest and he wanted to know where she was going. She said, well, I'm going to my trailer because I know you want to see River tonight. And he was like, do you mind? Ruth don't care. She could care less. Ruth has a plan in mind that has nothing to do with being his wife. He told her that he's doing something different for a change. He said that he's going to have her in charge of making sure all the women take pregnancy tests every month, and they're going to start with her. Can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. So now it's the next morning, and the highest woke up with River at his feet, hog-tied, wide awake, and naked. River is yet again traumatized and abused at the hands of the highest, and the highest is making lighthearted jokes, apologizing, and just being borderline crazy as usual. He sent River to get Ruth so that she can give him a bath and to get Elder Mother Supreme to make him some food. And on his way, he saw Joan under the shed cooking the books again. He told her that he can't take getting abused by the highest anymore. He told her to hurry up and get that money moved so that he can leave. Then Joan went to tell Elder Mother Supreme to get the highest food ready. She ran into Ruth and wanted to know how she was doing. I'm telling you, they have the most random conversations. Ruth then asked her if she knew anything about pregnancy tests because she's got to take one, but she's not pregnant. She told Joan to let her know when the test showed up at the compound. Then in our final scene, Manny told Daikon that there is someone at the gate to see him named Lynn. He said that there was a gentleman with her, and Daikon said let them both in. Then here comes Lynn strutting across the yard with her bag and her heels, waving like she at the family cookout. Poor thing. She just don't know what she's getting herself into. And she's over there chatting with Daikon, and Malcolm is cheesing right in Andrew's face. You know he just came to F with him, right? And he don't have a clue either. This is going to be very, very interesting. End scene. If you enjoyed this recap, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're a Ruthless fan, go ahead and sub to the channel because I do breakdowns like this all the time. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Ruthless TV, and I'll see you on the next one.